Hey, what's up guys, it's Bakes and thank you for joining me for today's tracklist ranking video. Today's album that I'll be ranking its tracklist from my least favourite to favourite song is the third studio album by the Australian band Trophy Eyes, titled The American Dream. Now as usual, if you want to know my thoughts on this album as a whole, go check out my random album review for it where I gave it a rating out of 10 and my complete thoughts are in that video. That should be up at the same time, but in today's video I'll be ranking its track list of 12 songs from my least favourite to favourite song. Now in my random album review, a little bit of a spoiler alert, I spoke about how this album's really solid and to me, at least there are no completely bad songs, so this was a really tight track list ranking to get into today, but without further ado, let's start at track number 12, my least favourite on this album. So starting off this list, coming in at my last place at number 12 is the song Broken. By all means, this is again not a bad song, however this song has never really done anything too majorly for me. Overall I just feel like it's kind of safe and sort of falls to a formula, and lyrically is the song's strongest element, but even there it's something that we've seen before. The chorus, "Don't let anyone say that you're broken," it's been done in plenty of songs before, so as I said, it's overall not a bad song, but it sort of falls into a routine and quite formula, and it sort of plays it safe, so that's why I have it as my least favourite track on this album. Cigarette for a while as a symphony of crickets announced the night. Coming in as my number 11 is the track A Symphony of Crickets, which is a song with a roughly 100-second runtime. It's really short, it's also stripped back acoustic, and it's actually not the only song on this album to be like that, but we'll get to the other track a little bit later. It's more for a case of what this song is. It's really calming and soothing with its instrumentals. As I said, it's acoustic, but when you actually listen to the lyrics, it features a lot of lyrics that are much deeper and heartfelt and emotional than what the instrumentals would portray. As I said, they sort of go against each other, but it still works. It's just, in my opinion, sometimes with acoustic songs, especially ones with, as I said, a runtime of 100 seconds, it's hard to spice it up and do something that's a little bit against formula. So maybe if they found a way to change it up, this could have been a little bit higher on my list, but for now I have it as my number 11, which is A Symphony of Crickets. The song Tiptoe comes in at my number 10. Now this is a song that has grown on me lyrically over time. It's just a matter of finding relation in the lyrics with the more experiences I've had in my life and the more I've listened to this song. But again, it's a mostly acoustic song that doesn't do anything too extravagant. It builds to a little bit more later as the song goes on. But the fact that it feels a fuller runtime and the lyrics are more relatable, as I said, and it's laid over a smooth melody, I have to put it at least higher than my last song, A Symphony of Crickets. So coming in as my number 10 is the track Tiptoe. Coming in at my number 9 is the track A Cotton Candy Sky. Now this is the song I was referring to earlier when I brought up A Symphony of Crickets. They're both very similar, both acoustic, both with short runtimes. This song has a runtime of just short of 2 minutes. So we have 3 acoustic songs in a row, but what this one does better than the previous 2 acoustic tracks is its wonderful storytelling. I can literally picture every word that John sings in this song in my head. It paints a very clear picture, from watching the storm on the back porch, the literal cotton candy coloured sky, you know, the pink sky setting in the afternoon, the fluffy clouds accompanying it. I can picture every single lyric in this song, and overall it's a bit more of a positive song with its lyrics, and again with the previous 2 tracks there's something a little bit somber and melancholic with it, but it just works in its favour, and this song really is addictive for, as I said, just short of a 2-minute runtime. So coming in at my number 9 is A Cotton Candy Sky. Coming in at my number 8 is the second single for this album, which is the track More Like You, which has always been a Disney song to me, obviously with a trophy-eyed spin on it, especially in that chorus. It always reminds me of a movie like Brother Bear or something, like, you know that scene where they're like hiking through the mountain range or whatever, and it's got that, tell everybody that I'm on my way. Replace it with the chorus for More Like You, and I feel like it would just fit seamlessly. But again, kind of like Broken, I feel like it does at times fall into it being a little bit safe, whether it's with its instrumentals at parts, or sort of in a formula, I guess. But overall, I feel like it does a little bit more than Broken to switch it up. I would definitely highlight the second verse where John sort of goes to what I feel like are his signature vocals, a little bit more raspy and straining sounding, and I do enjoy that. But as I said, it jumps around enough, changing up the instrumentals every now and then to give it something a little bit different, so I wanted to put it higher on my list. So coming here at my number 8 is the track More Like You. Coming in at my number 7 is the closing track for the album, and also the song with the longest runtime of just being around 6 minutes. Here I have the track I Can Feel It Calling. Now you guys would know, because I bring it up all the time, how much I love an epic track to close off an album, and this song delivers. It definitely is epic. As I said, the longest runtime, it feels very grand also. The reason why I always say you should close an album with your most epic song, it doesn't need to be the best song, but as I said, the one that feels the most almost cinematic, because if you're listening to the album from start to finish, and obviously you have your closing song, you want the listener to be left with a song that impacts them and changes them a little bit and makes them think back on the album and go, wow, that was something special. And I feel like this song really does it. It certainly feels epic, as I said, with its vibe. It feels very grand. And it has it all, really. It changes from soft and slow and melodic at parts, and then it flips to energetic with its screams, and it breaks up into all kind of different sounds, and it finally finishes off with this anthem sing-along mantra sort of thing going towards at the end. Lyrically also, I feel like this song is very epic, and to myself, I interpret it as a very fitting and heartfelt send-off. To me, it's sort of like singing about leaving everything and going back to living a simple life with someone that you love, and I feel like that message sort of encapsulates the album and the song. So here I have the closing track, as I said, I Can Feel It Calling. In previous videos on my channel, when speaking about bands like Movements for example, I have spoken about how I don't mind having a little bit of dance vibe thrown into my punk music, and that's what we get here with the third single for the album, coming in at my number 6, Friday Forever. This song sort of has like a groovy vibe to it that sort of makes you want to dance. It packs a lot of energy. Lyrically, it's not the strongest song. Not to say that I hate it lyrically or anything like that, I just don't think it's its strongest element. But as I said, the energy, especially through that chorus, it just makes you want to dance or groove or just run. It just packs a lot of energy, and I think that's what a lot of people note this song for, just being very energetic, makes you want to get up, jump, dance, anything like that. So coming in at my number 6, as I said, the third single for this album, Friday Forever. Coming in at my number 5 is the track Miming in the Choir, which to me feels very brooding and almost bleak sounding, but also gives it this attitude that makes it feel very badass, and is probably one of the more unique sounding songs on this album, which probably helps it be more replayable also. I find myself coming back to this song more than the others that I at least previously mentioned on this list. Lyrically, this song isn't its drawing factor. Not to say that the lyrics are bad or anything, but as I said, I feel like its unique sound is what makes you come back to it, whether it's the instrumentals or the way that John sings it. As I said, it just has this flair about it that gives the song its own personality. In my random album review for this album, I spoke about how there is a reoccurring pattern in majority of these songs with repeated chanting or anthems or repeated lyrics over and over, whatever you want to call it. I'll just call it chanting. And again, it appears in this song, but I feel like this song gives its most unique twist on the chanting by having a child's choir in the background for bits and pieces of this song, and as I said, it gives it its own unique flair, changes it up, and I do enjoy that element of the song. This song has always kept me intrigued with every listen, and it doesn't seem to wear on replay, so coming in at my number 5 is the track Miming in the Choir. Coming in at my number 4 is the opening track for the album, and also the song that has grown on me the most over time. Here we have the song Autumn. As I said, this is the song that has grown on me the most over time. It's not to say that I ever hated this song or thought it was bad. I always just thought it was okay, very sort of middle of the run. But lyrically, it's grown on me more over time, just finding more relation to the lyrics. The simplistic instrumentals, I feel like, works in the favour of this song. And over time, it's just become a bop, honestly. It's not as simple as to say it's an upbeat song either, but I feel like it does have this very positive vibe about it, which I really do enjoy. It's a good song to open up the album. So coming in at my number 4 is the opening track, Autumn. Moving into my top 3 now, and coming in at my number 3 is the track Lavender Bay. It's actually kind of hard to pinpoint what I feel like makes this such a great song, but I feel like overall there's something just really infectious about it. Like Friday Forever, it's got this groovy dance-like feel about it that it's arguably done better here. Like Autumn, it's got this positive vibe about it also, and like many of the songs on this album, it's got the repeated chanting again. So it's not like it hasn't got things that make it insanely unique. You know, it's got plenty of stuff that we've seen beforehand, previous on the album, but it just feels like everything works here. Lyrically as well, I feel like this is such a good song. It feels very underdog story and something that I can relate to. You know, it's an Australian band, I'm Australian, just this small punk band from Australia, not always having it easy, but still dreaming. You know, the chorus, I won't sleep until Sydney knows my name. I just want to see my name light up the streets, or it was all for nothing. Like, I just really like that message in the song. Has this real underdog tone about it. So coming in at my number 3 is the track Lavender Bay. Coming in at my number 2 is the leading single for this album, being You Can Count On Me, which is still one of the band's most popular songs to date. It's definitely a fan favourite, and I'm sure if you guys know the album, a lot of you would have had it at your number 1. And I can almost not fault the song, it's just a matter of there's one song that I like more than this one. But this song is pretty close to perfect. It's clear to see why it's such a fan favourite. It's just insanely catchy, super replayable, and it manages to be melodic in parts while also being rough around the edges when it needs to be, and that's not a bad thing. As I said, I feel like that's sort of Trophy-Eye's signature sound, you know, having those rough around the edges parts. It just gives the band its character. But this song lyrically is so personal and self-reflecting, the way that John story tells in this one. It's super engaging and never fails to draw me in with its lyrics and its story. It has so many elements going to it, but it works in its favour. So as I said, this song is insanely catchy, super replayable. So coming in at my number 2 is You Can Count On Me. And coming in at my number 1 is track number 2, Something Bigger Than This. Now this is a song that has grown in fan popularity more and more over time, but I still find it to be insanely underrated, and that's saying something, as I said, when fans are coming around on it more and enjoying it more, but I still find it to be a song that flies under the radar. This song to me is just so fucking good. The song lyrically is about death, and to get into it a little bit deeper, it's actually about what life is in perspective to death. And it's told in such an interesting and engaging way, and I find myself just enjoying this song from start to finish each and every time. And for a song with such a real and understandable message, it still manages to be insanely catchy, and it does have this really grand feel about it, which could almost mean that it could be a better closing track than I Can Feel It Calling, or even a better opening track than Autumn, even though Autumn is, a really good song to open the album, and I Can Feel It Calling is a really good closer. But I can just imagine this one being the opening track and having the 1-2 punch of Something Bigger Than This and Autumn. But either way, such a good song. I love this song. As I said, I still find it to be insanely underrated. Coming in at my number 1 is Something Bigger Than This. So there we go, guys. Thank you for joining me for this tracklist ranking of Trophy Eyes' album, The American Dream. As I said, if you want to know my thoughts on the album as a complete effort and what I give it a rating out of 10, go check out my random album review. It will be up at the same time. But thank you for joining me for this video, guys. If you have heard this album and it's a favorite of yours, or if not, just let me know some of your favorite songs or least favorite songs. Go for it in the comments below. I'm a big fan of Trophy Eyes. I said that in my random album review. They're just one of my favorite bands making music at the moment. I'm going to listen to pretty much anything that comes out by them. I think John, the vocalist, is insanely talented and underrated as a musician. So everything the band does, I think, is just worth listening to, and this is definitely one of my favorite albums by them. So thank you for joining me for this tracklist ranking, guys, and I'll see you in another video soon enough. Thanks.